Day 27 of my year in food, and it's a cold, kind of rainy day here, which is the perfect day for what we're making. And what we're making is very traditional for a Monday day, night meal in New Orleans. We are making, drum roll please, red beans and rice. Oh, I love red beans and rice. I grew up eating red beans and rice. They remind me of home. They're so comforting and just delish. And you could do these vegetarian, you could do no ham hock, no meat, and vegetable stock. I do vegetarian red beans a lot, and they're still delish. So traditionally, the story has it that this was what ladies would make on a Monday. They would have, it'd be like the washing day, so all the laundry would be getting done on a Monday. So they would take whatever meat they had left over from the night before from their Sunday dinner, and hopefully ham hock or some kind of meat bone, and they would do a big old pot of beans on the stove that would bubble along all day, getting all that flavor just kind of marrying together for hours and hours while they get their washing done. And then, ta-da, red beans and rice. That meal, that Monday night. Yum! So, so good. So, I'm still a traditional girl. I pretty much every Monday try to make red beans and rice if I'm home. And my new hubby has come to expect on a Monday night he's going to have red beans and rice. So, it's definitely a traditional thing and just such a taste of home for me. You could do, I'm going to do brown rice today. Traditionally it'd be white, but we're going to do brown rice, and it's one of those things. It is going to take a few hours to bubble along, but I've got a great shortcut I'm going to show you. So let's go have a look at the ingredient board, and you will see. Day 27, my year in food, red beans and rice. Everything nice with red beans and rice. Okay, so here is our ingredient board for day 27 of my year in food for my red beans and rice, which is a big old taste of home for me, and something that we do try to make this or eat this you know, traditionally it's every Monday. So it's Monday, it's red beans day. It's like clockwork here. So super easy. You can do this vegetarian. Just skip the ham and the ham hock, substitute vegetable broth or stock for the chicken stock. Boom. It's so delish. It doesn't matter if you use the meat or not. So the basis for most Cajun cuisine is our Holy Trinity. So green bell pepper, celery, onion, that's going. Garlic, I've got a good few cloves of minced garlic. Obviously got to have some cayenne. We've got 2 bay leaves. There's our lovely smoked ham hock. These are actually harder to find the further I get away from New Orleans. These are harder to find than when I was home, but I did get my hands on a ham hock. Woo woo. So it'll be nice and authentic. Ham steak. I just got a real low fat, low sodium one. Dice it up. This is all going to go in the pan pretty early with some olive oil and sweat that out. So that's the first step, is getting all that diced and put into the pan, or chopped really. You want it kind of chunky because it's going to bubble along for quite a few hours. Now, traditionally you would soak your dry red beans overnight, drain them. I don't have time for all that jazz. So I skip that totally, and I just get 2 big old cans of low sodium kidney beans, red kidney beans, and I drain these, give them a good rinse, and then I'll show you my little magic trick that I do when I drain those. And then you're going to want a good amount. I'll probably use 2 things of chicken stock today, or maybe 1 full chicken stock and some water. You're going to want enough to cover the beans, so I can show you all that in a minute. But that's our ingredient board for red beans and rice, day 27, my year in food. I'm going to get everything chopped, cleaned, chopped, in that order. Chopped, cleaned, and simmering along in the pan, sweating all that out because we want this to bubble along for quite a few hours. So I'm going to get cracking. So I've got everything chopped up, cooking along over about a medium-ish high heat. And I'm just going to sweat all this out. It'll probably take about, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes till it's all properly sweated down. But that's the garlic, onion, celery, bell pepper, a little bit of olive oil, ham diced up, and the ham hock. And I did just put the bay leaves in now. You can do it now. You can put it in with the stock, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to just get this where I want it, and then I will show you the next step. So while our veggies are all sweating out, I'm going to show you my little secret to a great and quick and easy red bean and rice trick. So I had those cans, I've drained the cans of red beans, gave them a really good rinse. Now the secret to any great red bean is you want the beans to pop. And as you can see here, once they kind of pop, they give out that mushy, yummy, white, creamy bean filling in the middle, right? So that's what you want, because this is going to, hopefully all the beans are going to pop, and then it turns into this beautiful, creamy red bean mixture instead of just a pot full of whole red beans. So in order to help this process along so you don't need to cook this for 6 or 7 hours, what I do is, with clean hands obviously, I just go into my drained red beans and I just give them a good squeeze. It looks insane, I know, but I promise you, you will get the best red beans and rice from doing this. So you just go in, give them a really good squeeze, help them to pop early so that when they go into the mixture, it's already going to have a head start at that creamy, beautiful texture that we want. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with that, as strange as it looks. I promise you it's so helpful. You could also, when these are cooking, you're going to want to help pop them again with like the back of a heavy wooden spoon. Some people use a masher, a potato masher, but this technique for me works really well. So I'm going to crack on with this, and I'll show you the next step in just a minute. Gorgeous. So this has been sweating for about 8 minutes. That's just where I want it. Here's my kind of smashed up red beans. I know it sounds crazy and it feels weird when you're doing it, but I promise you, this is going to give you the best red beans and rice ever. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the beans, which I'm going to need 2 hands. So I'm going to add those beans and I will show you the next step. So I've added in the beans, given that a great stir, and now I'm going to just add enough water and stock. This is just water for now. I'm actually going to just switch right to the chicken stock because I want that more than the water, more flavor. And let's see where we are with this. And then I'm going to season it. Now this probably does not need any salting because the beans had a bit of salt still. The ham and the ham hock are quite salty. The chicken stock, even though it's low sodium, has salt. So I'm just going to cayenne and black pepper this. And I can already see, now you just want enough liquid to cover your beans. But after giving this a good stir, I can see I would just like a teeny bit more liquid. So I'm just going to add a teeny bit more water. That's probably going to be good. So now I'm going to season with cayenne and some pepper, which I'm going to need probably both hands for that, at least for the black pepper. I can do the cayenne. And you don't have to do cayenne if you don't want to. Again, that's totally up to you. I, of course, love a bit of spice, so I'm going to do a bit of that and then some pepper. Right. Give this a good stir. We're going to bring this up. And again, see how you can just kind of like boop, 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 mash those beans up a little bit more. Now this looks almost like a soup at the moment, right? But as this cooks down and as those beans pop and all that yummy inside creaminess comes out, this is going to turn to a nice creamy mixture. So it's not going to look like this for long. And again, you just want to kind of mash up those beans, help break those beans open to get the good stuff out. So I'm going to turn the heat up, and you're going to just bring this to a good boil, I'd say. Not for long. I'd say 10 or 15 minutes. Then we're going to turn the heat down to low and let this simmer uncovered until we get that creamy texture. So a good hour, maybe 2 hours for this. But this is the kind of thing you can just put on the pot, put it on the stove, and you don't have to, you know, stir occasionally. You're not hovering over it. It's not like you're roasting a chicken or something. You need to really watch it. So boil. I'm going to season it up, bring it to the boil, simmer, and I'll show you this in just a while at that. So it's been about 45 minutes, And you can see it's totally changed color and texture. Those beans are starting to pop and get nice and creamy. The color's a bit lighter. This is really perfect. So I'm stirring occasionally. I want this to keep going until it's nice and thick and creamy. So another hour, maybe hour and a half. And I'm gonna get my rice going. Traditionally, it's just white rice, but we're gonna do healthier style red beans and rice. We're gonna do some brown rice. Don't tell anybody. So I'll get that going in a few minutes. And this is just gonna keep bubbling along. I'll show you as it progresses how it looks. Yum, yum, yum. Red beans and rice, day 27, my year in food. So it's been a good 2 hours bubbling along, been stirring occasionally, and that is heaven. That is some red beans and rice right here. You can see the line in the pan, so it's really, really cooked down to that. So I've got some green onions. I'm going to add those in, stir those up, turn my heat off. My rice is done. So the next time you see this, it'll be in a bowl, ready to eat. So day 27, my year in food, red beans and rice. And there we have it. Monday night, red beans and rice. Everything is right with this big old bowl of yumminess. This is a real taste of New Orleans, real comfort food, and surprisingly pretty healthy for you. We did brown rice, which also helps, but loads of fiber and protein, and serve this with whatever vegetable you want, any favorite veggie. And we, of course, have our favorite hot sauce to dash on the top, some good old Crystal. So, day 27 of my year in food, red beans and rice. Happy cooking, happy eating, and I will see you tomorrow.